The word animal comes from the Latin term anima, which means air or breathe or soul. Now, animal is an animated, moving, perceiving, and reacting being with ingestive feeling, determined growth, and remarkable and characteristic pattern of behavior. We will be studying about the animal kingdom in details, and this entire kingdom includes both the chordates as well as the non-chordates. But before going into the details, we must know some of the basic methods by which the characterization or categorization of the entire kingdom, animal kingdom, takes place. So first level is, or one of the level of classification is the levels of organization. This is the primary way by which we can determine that an individual is belonging or is of a lower group or of a higher group. For example, animals are multicellular organisms and they are heterotrophic eukaryotes. This idea we already have, but we need to understand that how do the complexity in these living organisms have got matured, and not only matured, it has progressively got complexed. And in order to understand it, we should know this level of organization. Like for human beings, the cells, they are the smallest structural and functional unit of living body. Now, group of cells, they become specialized and they form tissue, like squamous epithelial tissue or different fluid connective tissue, just connective tissue, bone, cartilage. These all are specialized forms of tissue. And even nervous tissue. So we have discussed about the specialization which takes place in just one level of organization or one shift of organization from cellular level to tissue level. Next level is about the organ level. Here the organs, like similar kind of tissue or dissimilar, several different kinds of tissue, they all come together to form one of the organ. Like here it is shown about the stomach. Stomach is made up of different kinds of tissue. Similar organ, like different number of organs or lot of types of organs, they all compile together and they form the organ system, and finally the organism is formed. So we will be studying that how does this complexity it all begin. Like in case of the organ, the complex animals, they are having digestive system. Here digestive organs are shown like liver or intestine. The entire gut of the individual is shown in the organ system, whereas in the organism you can see that outer structure is also there. So with this complexity, how the level of organization is increasing, we should have an idea about that. Next most important part of this organization is the symmetry. The meaning of symmetry is the similarity in the arrangement of parts of the opposite sides of the body. Like parts of the animal body are often so arranged that it is possible to cut the entire body of that organism into two equal halves. Like for us, if we are cut into equal halves, we are bilaterally symmetrical. One eye will be on one of the side, another eye on another side. Similarly, there are some other type of organisms like to whom if we want to cut them, we won't be able to cut them in that way. So we should know about different kind of symmetry as well. And first type of symmetry we should know is the radial symmetry. It means that certain animals like jellyfish or hydra, they have a body with a number of similar parts radiating out from the central axis. You can see the central axis in the center of the five arms, and then radiating rays are there. The body can therefore be divided into equal halves by any plane passing through the center from the top to the bottom. This form or this category of organisms are known as radially symmetrical organisms. And the beauty of this kind of radial symmetry is that most of these organisms, they are capable of oral or arboreal, uh, like they can eat from the center. There is the presence of mouth. We can say one side is oral side, another side is arboreal, or opposite side is the arboreal side. So we will be studying the details about them as we proceed. But for right now, it is important that you understand that radial symmetry means from the central axis through any plane, if you cut the organism, you will be able to get the organism cut into equal two halves. Next category is of bilateral symmetrical organism. Human beings, fruit fly, most of the organisms, they fall in this category where the individuals, they can be divided into two equal halves if a plane of symmetry cuts them from top to bottom, from head till toe for the human beings, and for other organisms it is from head till tail. So this is the second important category of classification. Third, you can think of to be asymmetrical, like amoeba or any organism whose shape is not well understood. You cannot very well understand. For these kind of organisms, we do not have any particular symmetry if we cut them into equal halves. So these organisms are known as asymmetrical. Next important thing which we should know before classification is about the germ layers. Whenever the organisms, they are formed, like while the embryonic development is taking place, the early embryo acquires fundamental cell layers. After the zygote formation has taken place and it has got implanted in the womb, after that, in the uterus, after getting implanted in the uterus, they undergo the human's entire cell, it undergoes several changes. Similarly, the same thing occurs for different other organisms as well. Now, when these changes are going on from the zygote to the complex form, at that time the layers are formed, and these layers are formed as a result of gastrulation. Gastrulation is the movement of cells from the outside. Suppose we are thinking of a zygote. This is a zygote, and this zygote has is formed of several cells. I hope you remember about the morula, blastocyst. Blastocyst is a 32 cell stage. Now, after the blastocyst stage, and it is when it gets implanted into the uterus, then these cells, they start movement and they form a hollow core, and all the cells, they all start migrating from the bottom till the top. So in this way they are forming layers. When the layers are formed, an outer layer is there as well as the inner layers are there. You can see that several colors are used in order to show different layers. For the organisms, we should know about only two types of uh, like there are normally three types of layers, germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Ectoderm, as the name suggests, it is the outermost layer. The pink layer you can see, that is the ectoderm. Inside layer, the blue layer, when it is a perfectly developed one, that forms the mesodermal layer. Here it is blue layer, which you can see, that blue layer is the one which is the endoderm. Blue layer and the inner portions. Inside the white portion is the coelom. Now, there are so many terms I'm discussing. Don't get confused and scared with these all terms. These are only some names which you have to learn. So, in case of triploblastic organisms, they are the most advanced types, and that's why they have three different layers present in them along with the coelom. Coelom is the white portion in the center which is visible. I hope you can very well distinguish it. Whereas in case of diploblastic organism, you can see that mesogly is present in at the name of mesoderm. In case of diploblastic organisms, why we say the central cavity of these organisms as mesogly? Because these mesogly are central not completely formed, or jelly like substances which are just present within the inner area. And these cells, they are not permanent, or they are not well formed. That's why they are said to be mesoglea. They are the precursors of mesoderm. We will be using the term diploblastic and triploblastic. So it is just for the understanding that whenever these terms are used, you should understand that diploblastic means only two germ layers are there, ectoderm as well as endoderm, and mesoglea is there. Whereas in case of triploblastic, all the three germ layers will be present. Now the body plan is also a very important thing. Most of the organisms, they have entire body plan, in the sense the cell aggregation is there. All the cells, they aggregate together, or they combine together to form the entire body system of the organism. Now this body system which is formed, it can be of three types. First is cell aggregate type, which means that the body is essentially an aggregation of different kinds of cells. And these cells, they are not completely organized into tissue or organs, but only these all cells are well differentiated, and they are all present together. This is seen in lower organisms, very lower organisms. You will find this kind of body arrangement. In case of blind sac body plan, we see that the non-chordates, their body is like a sac with a single cavity, the digestive tract. Like in case of hydra, a single outlet or mouth is there, and through the mouth, both the food as well as fecal material goes in and out. Now cell differentiation in this blind sac type of organisms is there, but it is not well developed. Whereas tube within tube system is for the human beings, or well developed organisms. So their body consists of two tubes, outer body wall and the inner digestive tract. If you see the individual human beings, you will see that the entire esophagus along with digestive system is there, and it ends up in the anus. So food passes through only that tube and is expelled out. It is not coming in contact with your hand. It is not at all coming in contact with your leg, isn't it? So there is a tube within tube system. So the cells lining the inner tube are specialized to digest the food, absorb the digested products, whereas even they are highly developed in order to excrete out the indigested food, eject out the indigested food. It forms protective structures like the, and whereas the outer covering, it forms the skin, shells, horns, nails, hairs. These all structures are formed by the outer layers. Now, not only that, this tube within tube system also gives rise to two types of organisms. One is the protostomes. Now, protostomes are those organisms whose first opening, when the embryological development is taking place, during that time, the first opening which is formed in case of protostomous organisms, or like protostomes, is the mouth. So it is seen in lower organisms like annelid, arthropod, or mollusk. Whereas in case of higher organisms like the human beings or echinoderms, for them we see that the anus develops from the blastopore, and the mouth arises later on, at the later part. Whereas so what is the first opening in case of deuterostomes? It is the anus, and later on the mouth is formed. So secondary mouth, we can say, is the body plan system for the you know much developed organisms. So this is or this these are some of the topics which we should discuss, and you should have an idea. There will be few more things which we should discuss, and we'll be discussing it in the next video.